Welcome to the Be Your Best Self Life Planning Series. I'm your host, Lakita Rooks, LCSW. Morning! All right, so we are here together again. Yes, so today we're going to talk about I didn't know the purpose of relationships until now. So as you can tell, I'm an adult and I do have a teenager. But throughout life and my own life experiences, I've always been a loner. I'm a Virgo, I'm to myself, I'm over the top disciplined, I have a get it done type mentality, and I've been able to accomplish so many things on my own with maybe one or two people that's typically on my team throughout life. So I'm at a point in my life, I guess I've reached like a plateau. And it's like, oh my God, how do I get past this season in my life? And one of the things I realized is that part of it, well, pretty much, at least my assessment of everything on my journey, is that it's because of my lack of relationships. I'm friendly, I'm cordial, I'm cool to hang out with, but far as me being a person to naturally nurture and cultivate my relationship, that has just not been me as an individual. And that's something that I'm personally working on in my life because I'm learning more and more and more. You know how they say it's all in who you know and not what you know? I sighed in case you couldn't hear me. But yes, it is definitely, maybe partially in what you know, because you need to be able to perform whatever duties or tasks or whatever it is that you've been selected for. But at the end of the day, if you don't have those relationships to get you in certain places or in certain doors or in certain rooms, it's going to be tough. And I know for me, I know like I am rock star status. I know my stuff. I'm great at career planning. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I love working with teens. Those are my babies. But I don't have those relationships. And that's something that I've been working on and been very, very, very strategic about in these past few months. And even just to give you a few examples of, different conversations I have with my daughter, who's in middle school, who's a dancer. And this past week, we've been living like on autopilot because she's been practicing and performing for something called the Golden Nutcracker. And it's a rendition of the regular Nutcracker. So her and one of her teenage friends, they're at the studio waiting for the performance to start yesterday. And her friend says to her, my daughter, she wore a DD4L shirt. And for those of you all who don't know who DD4L is, that is the Bring It members that are on TV, like they are on TV. They have a dance studio and they're on TV, okay? And so she wore that shirt to the Golden Nutcracker yesterday when they were in the back. And some students knew who they were. Some students didn't know what the t-shirt represented. And one of the young ladies said, oh my gosh, I don't like Bring It. I don't like DD4L. I feel like my dance group is so much better than them. And I said to my daughter, and it just kind of allowed me to tie in my own personal life, my own journey on working on building relationships. And even how even on a teenage level is so important. And yes, Candy Renee, so true. You said you've been seeking to connect with others, especially to grow in business, but people have been through different experiences and they have walls built. Definitely, Candy Renee. It's about building those relationships and making those right connections. So with the DD4L situation, I said to my daughter, I said, you know what, Z, you could be right. It could be that her group is a lot better than the individuals that's on Bring It, that's on TV. Now they're taking tours. I know my daughter went and she had like a VIP ticket my sister paid for. It was like $100, like to see kids dancing that are her age, her peers Yet that owner of that dance studio was able to actually get a TV show that is predominantly African American children who run a dance studio in Jackson, Mississippi, in an urban area. Yet she was able to get a show. So with me saying that, I want to say, don't be discouraged. I'm not going to be discouraged. It doesn't matter where you're from, who you are, what product or service you have. The possibilities are endless. And part of our possibilities being endless is building those relationships. So I've also, like I said, been working on that personally, been making some really great connections, and not just going to networking events, meeting all these great people, and then you just stuff the business cards in your purse and you never go back to them again. That was the old me. That is what I've always done. And now I'm actually, following up, sending emails, making phone calls, scheduling, appointments to meet with these different individuals to build these relationships. And I'm going to also tie in another thing that occurred that kind of relates to relationship building. Even just, I've been working through trying to remember people's names. So I went to an event the other day with the D.W. Perkins, and Melissa Nelson was there. She's I think over the state attorney's office or something of that nature, but she recently won election, and she's here in Florida, and she was speaking, and I met her the previous year, right? The previous year at MLK event in 2017. So that was almost 10 months ago or so. I met this lady. So, but I didn't think she was going to remember me. So the people at my table were like, "Oh, do you know Melissa Nelson?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, no, I don't know her. I haven't met her," right? Because I didn't want to look crazy going up there to say hello to her, and she did not remember who I was. So I just told them out of my own fears. I was like, "Oh no, I don't know her." And then I go up to say hello. She says, "Hi, Lakita. So nice seeing you again. I mailed you a letter." And I was floored. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, this lady is in a pretty significant power position. Yet she remembered my name, and that she actually mailed me a letter to congratulate me for being one of the Clay County Empowered Women. And this was in January 2007. So I said all that to say that's something else that I'm working on when it comes to building those relationships. It's also remembering people's names and where you met them at and what is that relation that you have to them. Because that's not, and me and someone else was talking about it, and they was like, "Oh my gosh, she did the same thing to me." And I was like, I have no idea how she did that. So if anyone has any tips or strategies on how to have a memory like that, please let me know. Send me a message, Lakita Brooks, Lequita Brooks, Brooks, LCSW, to help me with my memorization skills to actually remember people's names. So, in short, I want to just say to everyone, I'm being encouraged. We're here on this journey together of learning how to build those relationships, building strategic relationships. So not just you're going to any I'm not, in the past, I've always went to all networking events. It's like, oh my God, you need to network. No. So now it's much more strategic. It's about connecting with people who have an investment in the juvenile justice system. And so just to give you a quick overview, I'm running a teen workforce development program. And with that includes life skills, mentorship, and career planning. So in concept, it's all about helping a young person, a teenager, go from being in middle school to becoming a self-sufficient adult, and equipping them with recognizing what are they good at, what are their interests, creating a plan, connecting them with individuals in their careers, and all that good stuff. So for me, in the field that I'm in, it's important for me to connect with people that's within the juvenile justice system, or individuals who work with high school students or middle school students, maybe teachers, maybe guidance counselors, maybe other for-profit organizations that work with teen entrepreneurs. So basically, being more conscientious of who are those individuals that also have the same invested interests that I have, and how can I add value to them, and also they can add value to what I'm doing. So just being way, way, way more strategic about that. And once I've actually made those connections, to follow up with them, which is not my strong suit, but I am definitely working on it. So it is a cliche. It's not in what you know, it's in who you know. And now in the ripe age of 30 plus, I am finally getting that. Not saying it was wrong for me to be a loner or for me to be to myself and always just have that one or two individuals. But now when I'm trying to get to the next level, my area of challenge is building those relationships, and that's something that I'm working on. So I highly encourage anyone else who are going through the same struggle to do the same. And even as I talk with my daughter about it, it's like, hey, it doesn't matter how great of a dancer you are. People gotta like you. And it doesn't mean that you need to kiss up or do anything wrong. It just simply means that you need to be likable. Because guess what? One, I think someone, Jacoby said in the past, Jacoby picked me over, Clara White Mission. She said, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I plan to be at the table. And I hope that you're also at the table that you need to be at to get to that next level in your life. Thank you all so much for joining me today at the Be Your Best Self Life Planning Series. See you next week, 8 a.m. Facebook Live, LCN Enterprise.